Everybody in YouTube, I've been getting a lot of questions asking if I can make a video doing an update on how to hook everything up. So today in the studio here at Power92 FM and Vinyl105.ca, I thought being a day that I have some extra time, I thought that this would be an actually good day to do this. Basically, I'm going to tear down my studio completely and clean everything up because it's got a lot of dust and cat hair and stuff. So basically the stuff that you see behind me, so if I can move the camera back a little bit there so you can see like the turntables and everything is pretty much going to get torn down, including the computers and stuff, and then I'll hook everything back up and show you how to hook things up. So because I got a couple of questions asked on how to hook up turntables to a mixer and how to hook up radio DJ to the mixer. So that's what we're going to do in this video today. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope it's going to be informative. Like I said, if you have any references to this video, you can go back to the first one that I made, and I'll put a link in the description here at the bottom of the video, right at the bottom here, that you can click on so that you can watch the first one, because there is going to be some stuff that I'm going to leave out in this one, mainly because it's just for time reasons. The other one was like an hour-long video. This one I'm going to try and keep it under an hour, so it's just going to be like the basic stuff and the stuff that you really need to know, because basically the stuff that we have here in our studios, you don't really need all this stuff. This is pretty much overkill to do what you want to do. So we're just going to do the basics, I guess, and hopefully this will help you out a little bit so that you can get everything all set up and ready for you to be on air. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to do but we're just going to unhook everything. I'm going to switch the camera around so that you can see what stuff we're dealing with right now, and this is also kind of be like an update of what the studio looks like since, you know, the previous videos, because obviously, you know, things have changed within the years, of course. Okay, so this is what we're working with today. We've got the three CD players there in the corner that have been there since pretty much since day one. So they're the Denon DN 2000 FMK3 dual CD players. That's at the top there. There's the loading tray for them, and then there at the bottom there's a Pioneer one disc. I think the product code is PD101 CD player. It's a one disc CD player from like the 90s when they first came out. Still works great. I mean, we don't use CDs that much in here except for when I do the old school Sunday show, so that's when you'll find that we're using mostly CDs, and of course vinyl stuff too as well. So there's the vinyl collection down there. This is all vinyl, except for in this crate here we have a lot of Scratch Live records that I collect, so it's half vinyl and half Scratch Live records, control vinyl. This here is the computer that does the broadcasting. This is like the one that is the one that we consider the FM transmitter, or an AM transmitter if you would call that. This one basically uploads the music to the server all the time. It's an old beast computer that's got Windows 90, it's got Windows 95 on that one. Actually, it's Windows 2000, sorry. And all it does is just upload music. It does not do anything else. We can't do anything else with it. It's just, it's so old. But it does the trick for what it is, and that's all we really need it for. Moving on over here under the desk. See, this is the kind of the stuff that I want to really clean up, really. There's a lot of cat hair, and the wires are just, they're out of control. If you can, I'll put the light on just so you can see. You see, the wires are just, it's just absolutely it needs to be fixed. It needs to be looked after. So this here is the Power92 FM computer, which is the tower. The old laptop there, that is the vinyl computer, which will be soon replaced with a new laptop. I'm just working on that laptop right now to get Radio DJ on there and loaded so that we can switch it over. I'm having a problem with this computer. It's turning itself on and off. So it basically gets too hot and then it turns itself off. Beside that are all the CDs for the radio stations right here. They're all in the cases there, and that's where I keep them. Maybe I can hopefully find a new home for those. because they're just collecting dust on the floor, and it's not helping. Having cats, you know, it's hard to keep things dust free. So turntables we're using in the studio are still the Stanton T60 direct drive turntables, and we are using the Behringer DX2000 USB mixer, and that's the main mixing console for Power92 FM and Vinyl105.ca. This here is my tube compressor. I'll turn the light off here so you can see it probably better. This is a tube compressor, a limiter as well, and this works in conjunction with my microphone so that you get that tube sound, that broadcast sound. This monitor here will be the Vinyl105 and Power92 FM monitor for the radio DJ and the programs on the computer. I've got a device that switches from computer to computer, so I can use one monitor, one mouse, and one keyboard, which works out really great. This is going to be the new vinyl PC. I'm just working on getting that all set up. It's giving me a little bit of a pain in the butt. I might have to wait until I get Windows 10 on it. Vista's just not working very well with this laptop, and I'm thinking that that's what I'm probably going to do is upgrade it to Windows 10 and then move on to that. This is the screen for the PC that just uploads the music, the transmitter PC. That's just the screen for that. And of course, there's the Electro Voice microphone we're still using. That's the RE20 that is hooked up through that into the compressor preamp limiter that goes into, obviously, the mixer itself. And of course, we've got the guest microphone up here, which is a condenser microphone, and it's an Apex 435 microphone, I believe, is the product number. And it's a fantastic microphone. It works great for work with guests here in the studio. So in a nutshell, YouTube, this is what we're going to do today. We're basically going to clear everything off the desk. We're going to unhook it all, and then basically from there, we'll just start hooking things up, start cleaning things up, and we'll hook things up, and I'll bring the camera out while I'm hooking things up so you can see where I'm hooking them up, and then you can also get a good reference to maybe for setting yourself up for your radio station. But that's what's going to happen today. Everything on this desk must go and get cleaned up. Oh, look, there's my diabetic pills. Anyways, so yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to tear down everything, clean it all up, and put it all back together so that it's going to be nice and clean. A little bit of a progress here from the last time we chatted. I got everything pretty much off the desk. As you can tell, it's kind of a lot of work. I mean, you don't realize how much stuff you have until pretty much you clear it all out. But this is what I'm talking about. If you guys can see this, I don't know if you can see this, I'll put the light on a little bit. But if you can see all the dust and hair that's collecting up in the corners and into the power bars and in all the wires and stuff, this is the stuff of this is the maintenance that I'm really looking for right now. Is I'm really looking to clean all this crap up. Look, even in the corner here, just disgusting. And normally I like to do this like once a year, but I've been pretty lazy for the past couple of years, so we've been kind of putting it off. See, even like the dust, like that's where the CD players were sitting. You could tell by the dust line. So yeah, this is something that really needed to be done. Take a look at the vinyl computer. This is why I think the computer is turning on and off on its own. It is just completely caked in dust. So we're going to give everything a good cleaning. That's all the wires and all the computer, well, a couple laptops there, well, 3 to be exact. Even look at this keyboard, just completely filthy. Look. Isn't that disgusting? And then, of course, I got my little kitty out there. She's investigating and making sure that everything's okay. Is everything fine, Sasha? Is it okay if Daddy leaves his stuff there? Yeah, she doesn't care. Anyways, turntables are here, CD players, some power wires. all the automation and transmitting computers are here. All of my vinyl is here. So we are ready to rock and roll and getting this completely cleaned up. So hopefully this doesn't take all day, but I have a feeling that it probably is going to, just because of the nature of things. So if you hang tight, YouTube, I'm going to bring out my mixer, I'm going to dust it off, and I'm going to show you the back of it and get kind of into depth of how we hook things up. And okay, so we're back now. Got everything cleaned up. I got all the dust out of here. I've got everything swept up. I just wanted to take a few seconds here to show the back of the mixing console, just so that you can get an idea. A lot of people that already are a DJ and a lot of people that do this stuff all the time, this is not going to be new stuff for you. So if you want, you can just skip through this part of the video. But I've been getting a lot of questions from people on how I hook Radio DJ up and how I hook my turntables up. And basically on the mixer, all these are channels to plug into this mixer. So these top slots are for remote control. If I have the remote control feature on CD players and turntables, I can hook these up directly and hit a button on the mixer and it should start to play. So this is basically it. Everything that says phono on the mixer, you can't see that. I don't know why it's not focusing in, but this channel says phono and line, and then CD, and then phono line, CD, phono line, CD, and then line, CD, line, CD line. And this also has an effects section on this mixer, but we're not going to worry about that because we don't really need any of that. And then this is where your microphones will plug in on this mixer. Basically, this mixer is a USB compatible mixer, so it has a USB sound card built into this computer, which is great because this is how I plug in Radio DJ to this computer on one PC. So I basically plug the USB here, I plug that wire right into the back of the computer, and it automatically connects it as a external sound card, which means it'll pick up sound from the computer onto this, and then whatever is coming out of this, it'll bring it back into the computer so you can record. For the turntables, I plug them all in a phono. Phono is, these have got a preamp that's already built into these phono channels, so there's no extra amps needed for the turntables. Just all you have to do is just pretty much plug in and play. The ground wires are connected through down here, and then of course all the CD players and other stuff that I have in the studio will get plugged into these channels. The way I plug in the Radio DJ for the vinyl computer is I plug in basically through an analog connection, which is with the RCAs into a 3.5 millimeter jack into the headphone jack into the laptop that goes into a channel here. So that's pretty much the basics of this. I know you guys don't normally get to see the back of my mixer, so this is what the back of the console looks like. Monitor speakers get plugged into here, along with some recording zones get plugged into here, and the main outs to transmit all get plugged into here. We can also plug in via a 1/4 inch, or we can plug in through RCA or XLR, and of course the XLR are all balanced out. There's even a section here on this mixer for a subwoofer, but we don't have a subwoofer plugged in here at the studio, so we don't really need to worry about that. So basically we're going to be plugging into the main ins, main outs, and all of these channels here are going to be taken up with all the equipment that we have here in the studio, and of course the microphones get plugged into here. So I hope that was a little bit of a help. And okay, so a quick update of what's gotten done so far in the studio. So I'm just firing up the computers now. I've got it clean under the desk. I got that computer all set back up. I've got the two Power92 FM and vinyl computers set back up, all plugged into the mixer. So what you're looking at right now is a basic setup. So this is pretty much all you'll need to start a radio station. You'll need a mixer, preferably a USB mixer, so that you can plug directly in through USB into Radio DJ. But you also can plug into a computer by where the speakers plug in, or if you have a laptop, you can plug into where the headphones plug in with the 3.5 millimeter into RCAs. Into the back of the mixer, this is all I have hooked up to it. So basically, this here is the master out. So that is going directly from my mixing console right directly into this PC, which is under the ground here, into the line in. It's a 3.5 millimeter jack that's going into this PC into line in, and then that wire goes up into the master out, so that this computer will pick up the master sound that's coming through the mixer. And then Radio DJ on this computer for power. I'll switch over with this box here. So power is this computer here. It's just loading up. But this computer is plugged in via USB on the mixer through this cord right here. And then this here is going into another... Here, I'll put the light on so you can see. This cord, this RCA into 3.5 millimeter is going back into the computer that's got the USB plug-in. This is so that I can just monitor music. You don't really have to do that. This is just so that I can monitor the next track that I'm going to play, or if I'm not really certain on how it sounds to the next song, I can have a quick listen through this. But I've switched between this and my turntable because this is plugged into where a turntable can go into. This is the RCA into 3.5 millimeter jack going into the vinyl PC, which is going into right into there, into the headphone jack. Sorry if the camera's a little shaky here, I'm using my cell phone. So that goes into there, into line in, so that's going to capture the sound into a channel into the mixer. So basically I have two radio stations plugged into this mixer right now, where I can just toggle back and forth by using the switches up here at the top, which go from USB or to line. I'm not sure why it's not focusing on the letters on the mixer, but yeah, so that's the gist of it. So basically, if you were to set up a radio station, this is all you'll need to do. You won't need to go any further. Obviously, plug a microphone in there and you're good to go, because this computer runs the encoding program, and then this computer will run your Radio DJ, station playlist, virtual DJ, whatever it is that you're using. You don't have to use the same stuff that I use. It's just preference on what you like. Sam Broadcaster, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But that's a basic setup. That's the basic setup. That's all you need. Keyboard and mouse controls that PC under there. That's the keyboard for that computer. And yeah, so we're just... Okay, I thought I'd add this real quick because they weren't running when I was doing the last part of the video there. But basically, so there's your encoder program. It runs like as a transmitter. And then there's the radio DJ program that's running the radio station. And I basically just toggle back and forth through the USB channel, which is also a line channel, which is right here. And then if I want to go back and forth from each station, I just flick this button here. And that's the classic rock station there. And that's the dance station there. So that's how I do that. Basic setup. That's a basic setup right there. You don't need anything else to have yourself running as a station. Just what you see. So recap. We're now pretty much all set right back up. Everything's all cleaned and dusted off. All the records have been put back into place. Computers are all working. Wires are cleaned up to the best I can get them cleaned up. And I mean, I'd like to hide them and put them away a little bit better, but the problem is that I constantly move this stuff. Sometimes, well, not all of it, but some of it, and I can't really exactly like put the stuff permanently in place. So that's the one downfall. Until I can get a pair of turntables that I can keep as a spare, where I can take when I'm DJing out. But until then, that's the way it has to be. So yeah, so we got the turntables hooked up, mixers on and going, radio stations are back up on air and broadcasting. There's my Beats headphones, and then the other turntable, the 3 CD players are in place. What else? But that's pretty much it. I mean, this is more an advanced studio. There's the second microphone all hooked up. This is what the advanced studio looks like. But basically what I told you is you could pretty much do this with just the one computer and then the other computer and then a mixing console with a microphone and a pair of headphones. That's all you really need to pretty much start the whole. So I hope that really helped you out with the way the studio is and how I get things hooked up in the studio. Much needed cleaning. It was like way overdue, and you got to see like an update of how the studio looks nowadays. So yeah, so basically you want to listen to us, you can do that. Power92 FM .ca is the one radio station, and of course Vinyl105.ca, and that'll get you set up with the 50s and 60s and 70s music. Also, I wanted to touch base too on tutorials and extra help. If you need a little bit of extra help setting up a station or need a little bit of coaching, I do that through Skype and through TeamViewer, but there is a small fee for me to helping you out. So yeah, I cover everything that you need to know about Radio DJ, how to get it set up, and of course how to set up my radio stream or any kind of streaming service that you're going to use, and how to get all that set up too as well, so I can help you out with that kind of stuff. I'm going to stay away from licensing and stuff because it's different in each country, and you're just going to have to do your own homework and stuff on the licensing issues in your country or state or whatever, wherever you may be. So having said that, you can email me, djdrj@power92fm.ca, or of course at drj@vinyl105.ca. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this little cleanup of the studio. A much needed cleanup, big time. So until the next time, keep it locked to this little channel here. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and like the videos too as well. And please share them. Let other people know that I'm here to help.